Hello and welcome to a new edition of Lantern Sports Now. I'm James Hing, the LTV Sports Director. Let's take a look at what's been happening in Buckeye sports this week.
It was a big weekend for former Ohio State players. 11 Buckeyes were invited to participate in the 2018 NFL Combine. Former Ohio State quarterback JT Barrett is hoping one team believes in him after questions remain if there is still a spot for him in the NFL.
People have their opinions about, who fits better in the NFL, and that's fine. And I haven't paid much attention to it, honestly. One of the things I could do is, present JT Barrett the best he could be, be in here, a great opportunity I have here to showcase my skills and, just focus on things I can control.
Most project Barrett as a low draft pick or even an unsigned free agent, but Barrett wanted to use the Combine as a platform to prove his ability to perform at the professional level.
I feel like, if you're going in the first round or you're going in the 7th round, I think that's at the end of the day, that's what you want, right? So you need one opportunity to go showcase who you are as a football player and as a person. So, like you said, I just need one opportunity, one team to believe in me and go show them who I am.
For former defensive end Jalen Holmes, he wanted to prove to NFL scouts that he is a versatile player.
I feel like these drills, 40, bench press, everything here just to show everybody I'm versatile. I'm a big guy that can also run and can play a lot of positions on the football field. So I'm just out here just showing what I do on film every Saturday, try to get it to Sunday.
Projected first-round pick and former Ohio State cornerback Denzel Ward finished the weekend strong with a 4.32-second 40-yard dash, tying him for the fastest time with LSU's Dante Jackson and Tulane's Perry Nickerson. Ward competed for more than just an NFL spot this past weekend. He also wanted to honor his late father, who passed away in May of 2016. Ward set up a donation drive for the Paul G. Ward Jr. Scholarship Fund. Donors pledged an amount of money for every inch that Ward leaped in the Combine. Ward recorded a 39-inch vertical jump and raised more than $6,000.
My dad was my role model in my life and somebody I really looked up to. It was kind of difficult. It was very difficult when my dad passed away. So I wanted to do something in honor of my dad, just because I know he would enjoy seeing me here.
Ward said he looks forward to draft day and sharing the moment with his family.
It's just going to be exciting. Like, I'm going to just enjoy just seeing the smiles on my mom's face and my brother and just my family. I just know my dad's going to be looking down smiling. Like, I know he wish he could have been here.
The Ohio State women's basketball team beat Maryland Sunday night 79-69 to win the Big Ten Tournament championship. The Buckeyes were down by 3 at the end of the first quarter, but outscored the Terrapins by 18 in the second quarter and ended the half up 44-31. Maryland closed Ohio State's lead to 2 points in the fourth, but the Buckeyes would not let go of their lead, giving them both the regular season conference title and tournament title. Ohio State senior guard Kelsey Mitchell led the team with 25 points, helping the Buckeyes become the first team to beat Maryland in the Big Ten Tournament.
Well, now with us we have our Lantern assistant sports editor, Edward Sutland, also the men's basketball beat writer. Now, while the women's team was able to get it done, the men, on the other hand, could not. They weren't able to seal the deal. They lost to Penn State for the third time this year, 69-68. Again, another close game. What was it all season that gave Ohio State such a hard test against Penn State?
Really, it just comes down to one thing, and that was the difference in the guard play. Penn State has several fairly tall guards. Tony Carr, obviously, I think he's 6'5". He's essentially Jayshawn Tate's height, and he's being guarded by C.J. Jackson and Andrew Dockich and Cam Williams, all of whom are 6'2" or shorter. So it really came down to the fact that whenever he had the ball, as long as he wasn't being double covered, all he had to do was shoot over them, and he'd be able to. He was accurate enough to be able to make the Buckeyes pay. Now, one thing that Ohio State did for a little bit, which did work effectively for them and slowed Penn State down, was they would have C.J. Jackson and Micah Potter guarding Tony Carr. But even then, it just seemed like, it was only a matter of time until Tony Carr scored, and even then, someone else would get open. So really, it just came down to him and Shep Gardner, the two of them. basically just being taller than Ohio State and outplaying the guards.
Yeah, it seemed like Carr was just scoring at will whenever he wanted a bucket. He could go get it no matter who was against. Now, looking forward, head coach Chris Holtmann said on Tuesday that the team moving forward into the NCAA tournament is going to need some sort of unexpected source of production. Let's take a look at what he had to say.
If we're going to advance at all, we are going to need, obviously, our better players to play well, and we're also going to need a production from someone else that maybe is a little bit unexpected, somebody, whoever that is.
So, Ed, hearing that, who is going to be the most viable candidate to sort of implant themselves in that unexpected source of production?
Yeah, I mean, I think that if you're looking at purely just from a points perspective, I think that guy's kind of got to be Cam Williams.
Okay.
I think during the year you've seen flashes of where he can really take over a game. And if he's ever open, which a lot of times he is because guys like Jayshawn Tate and Keita Bates-Diop, or really more Keita, I should say, get double teamed, Cam Williams often finds himself pretty open, and if he's open, he can knock down just about any three that he has available, And you've seen like a couple times this year he'll get hot and he can score like 3 or 4 baskets in a row. I think that if he's able to be that guy for them going into the tournament, he could be a real difference maker because Keita's going to get his points. C.J. Jackson's going to get his points. Jayshawn Tate and Caleb Weston are both going to at least reach 10, maybe 15 points each. So I think Cam Williams is really sort of the wild card in that. Now, I think that another big point, going back a little bit to looking at how they lost to Penn State, C.J. Jackson's going to need to improve defensively for Ohio State. He made a lot of really sloppy turnovers against the Nittany Lions, and he there were times when he would have like an open basket and he just didn't make it. Clock management has also seemed to be an issue for him. There are times when he'll look to try and pass instead of going for the basket when the shot clock's just about to run out.
Yeah.
I think that he's going to need to really be on his A game going into the tournament because if they have a C.J. Jackson like the one who played against Penn State, they're probably going to be in a little bit of trouble.
Yeah, now the general consensus, general feel around this team with the selection show being on Sunday is that this Ohio State team is going to fall probably to the 5 line, maybe 4 if something happens crazy, maybe 6 if some teams jump them with the rest of the conference tournaments going on this week. But when you sit back and look at everything that's gone on in this long season, how have expectations from the beginning of the seasons, no one would have thought that they would be at the 5 seed. How have they changed now with where they are now moving forward?
I think that it's sort of tough to say. In a way, I almost look at it as sort of like a bit of a bell curve. Mm-hmm. I think that expectations obviously start off the season extremely low. People were thinking, all right, if they have a good year, they're going to make it to the NIT. Maybe they're a really, really low seed in the NCAA tournament. Now they're heading in, and I guess I should say, as the season went on, it seemed like everyone was really just riding the hype, and they were thinking, all right, this team can start to go places, maybe even win the Big Ten. But one of the things that I seem to notice a little bit is that expectation seemed to change slightly in the Big Ten tournament. When Ohio State lost to Penn State for the 3rd time, I think that was really the first time all season that there were people who were really like, all right, that was a disappointment. Like, I think that there needs to be a little bit of perspective saying that, all right, Ohio State was not even expected. If they made it to the Big Ten tournament, they probably weren't even going to get to the 3rd day. They started on the 3rd day. That says a lot about where this team is. I think that expectations for the most part are still probably in this sort of general sense that it's like, all right, they have exceeded everything so much that they have a little bit of leeway. I think fans would be disappointed, obviously, if they lose in the first round. Maybe the expectation is that they win at least one game, and anything after that, I have to imagine, is just sort of going to be bonus.
Yeah, well, we're going to have to wait and see where they fall, who they're matched up with, who else is in their bracket. But thanks again for coming in, Ed. As always, that's all we have for you this week on Lantern Sports Now. Be sure to like us on Facebook and follow us on Instagram and Twitter and Snapchat. We'll see you next week.